Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us this evening for the Town of Chevy Chase annual meeting. Thanks to all the residents who've joined us and my town council colleagues, and thank you to staff as well. I'm going to start with some remarks this evening and in terms of the state of the town. Then there'll be a presentation by our treasurer, Rich Brancato, followed by a public hearing on the fiscal year 25 budget and tax rates. And then, public hearing, if I didn't say that, a discussion and then adjournment. So we'll go from there. Let's start here. Okay, hopefully we're... Good evening, everyone. As we gather here this evening, I'm filled with immense pride and gratitude for the progress our town has made over the past year. It's been a journey marked by dedication, resilience, and collective effort, and I'm honored to highlight some of the accomplishments we've achieved together. First, our community's spirit is strong. We have united as neighbors and friends, engaging in robust discussions on a range of topics, from state housing bills to increased density in neighborhoods near transit, to the ramifications of the county planning department's ultimately unsuccessful proposal to remove the development density cap in downtown Bethesda. We've worked through the details on projects such as Corso Chevy Chase, senior living, and Bethesda Market Park developments, as well as initiatives such as the county's attainable housing strategies. Residents have actively participated in town committee and council meetings and posed questions during sessions with County Executive Mark Elrich and our state delegation. Moreover, we have engaged the Purple Line Transit partners to address residents' privacy concerns along the Purple Line's walking routes. And we collaborated with the State Highway Administration to recommend signalization and pedestrian comfort enhancements along state highways surrounding the town. Throughout, my colleagues and I have prioritized listening to your concerns and advocating on your behalf with the County Council, the County Planning Board, the County Planning Department, the County Department of Transportation, the Maryland Municipal League, the State Department of the Environment, and our state delegates. We've also made significant strides in enhancing residents' quality of life. Critical infrastructure projects such as stabilizing and reinforcing Copeland Run's banks and improving street drainage and sidewalks have been prioritized. Through our Public Services Committee's Slow Down and Stop campaign, we've implemented additional traffic calming measures and pedestrian safety improvements. Led by our Climate and Environment Committee, initiatives such as banning gas-powered leaf blowers and increasing awareness of electrification incentives and tree planting on private property and town rights of way aim to reduce noise levels, carbon emissions, and enhance our green spaces. Additionally, our Land Use Committee has diligently revised the town code to align with pertinent county laws, marking a pivotal milestone in our community's governance, especially considering the last assessment was conducted during my middle school years. And our Long Range Planning Committee has offered input on significant issues, including the prospect of multifamily housing being permitted in the town, the need for additional funding for Bethesda Market Park, and the county's growth and infrastructure policy, collectively ensuring that crucial public amenities evolve in tandem with development. Finally, our community relations and climate environment committees have hosted more than 30 events over the last year to inspire, educate, and foster bonds among residents. Collectively, these efforts aim to ensure a healthier and more vibrant community for generations to come. These investments, both in time and resources, not only improve daily life, but also contribute to our town's long-term sustainability. None of this would be possible without the dedication of my colleagues, our professional staff, and our volunteers. And it's worth noting that these programs and services have been provided while being fiscally responsible with our operating expenditures, capital investments, and reserves. Looking ahead, there are still some challenges to address. The residential rezoning recommendations report from the County Planning Board to the County Council is expected to be delivered this June. Also, we are considering a material additional contribution to the Bethesda Market Park that will assist in the submittal of a site plan that we hope will be filed in the fall. Finally, the redevelopment of Zimmerman Park this summer adds to our upcoming milestones. Rest assured, with all these projects and initiatives, we will keep you informed every step of the way, and we will seek your feedback. Specific to the Bethesda Market Park project, our town is an important stakeholder in this public-private partnership. And while it has experienced unforeseen delays, the Bethesda Market Park promises to be a stunning public space, offering many opportunities for gathering, recreation, and relaxation for generations to come. Additional investments subject to town residents and council's consideration after our upcoming community meeting in June will bring highly desirable amenities to the greater Bethesda community. With determination and collaboration, we will navigate these challenges and continue to build a community we're all proud to be a part of. As we reflect and celebrate the achievements of the past year, let's approach the future with optimism and resolve. Together, there's no challenge too great, no goal too ambitious. Finally, to my colleagues and all residents, thank you for your support, dedication, and commitment to our town's progress. Here's to another year of health, prosperity, and unity. Thank you.
Irene, I would just like to add thanks that you've done an outstanding job as mayor this year.
Oh,
thank you for the leadership to the town. Appreciate it.
Filled big shoes, so thank you. Thank you for that kind words. So now we'll be followed up with a presentation by our treasurer, Rich, whenever you're ready.
Sure.
And I think we're also waiting for the PowerPoint slides to be put on.
Todd, you want to flip up the PowerPoint slides, if you would? I'm Rich Brancato. I'm the town treasurer. And tonight I'll give you a brief summary of our financial status and our budget proposed for FY25. For 2020, FY24, the town expects to realize a budget surplus of $2.3 million, due primarily to a larger than anticipated state distribution of local income taxes, substantially more interest income generated by town reserves, the use of $739,000 of our $2.4 million American Rescue Plan Act, otherwise known as ARPA grant, to cover the cost of providing certain town services, reduced need for land use planning and development consultants, nominal snow removal costs, and a delay in the expenditure of funds for roadway repairs, stormwater management improvements, and Zimmerman Park renovations, all which are planned to be undertaken in FY25. Next slide. Whoops. Yeah, thank you. The next, yeah, did you go to the next one? It's the revenue chart. Yep, thank you. For FY25, our projected operating revenue is budgeted at $5.7 million, of which $3.65 million is projected income tax revenue, $739,000 is ARPA grant funds, $600,000 in interest income on reserve funds, $294,000 is county tax duplication reimbursement, which I'll explain, and $131,000 in real property tax revenue. The income tax rate for the town is set by state law. The town receives a portion of income tax charged by Montgomery County. The local income tax charged by Montgomery is 3.2%, and the town receives 17% of town residents' Montgomery County income tax liability. We do not set the income tax rates for the town. The town was a recipient of a $2.49 American Rescue Plan Act grant in 2021. A portion of these funds each year fund government services from 2022 through 2026 until such funds are fully expended. Since the amount will offset town operating expenditures, an equal amount will remain available in town reserves to support future special projects. Next ones. The town council proposes a decrease in the real property tax rate to 0.4 of a cent per $100 of assessed value. This reflects the constant yield tax rate. The constant yield tax rate is the tax rate that will generate the same amount of revenue in FY25 as we did in 2024. This tax rate is equal to $84 for each $1 million in a home's assessed value. This is the only one we really do have control over, is this property tax. If the town levies, one of the good things about this is if the town levies a real property tax, however minimal it is, Montgomery County provides a tax duplication reimbursement to the town for savings realized by not providing certain services to the town. The town receives $131,000 a year from real property taxes. $131,000 a year is our property taxes. And we receive more than twice that amount, $294,000 from the county as the tax duplication reimbursement. Let's go to the next slide. And here are comparative property rates for other localities in the area. And you can see we're on the very low end of those property taxes. Our operating expenditures are budgeted at $3.7 million, $227,000 more than budgeted for in 2024, FY24. The FY25 budget includes funds to continue the town's high quality programs and services and provides the salaries and benefits for our town's full-time employees, the town manager, the special projects director, permitting and code enforcement manager, administrative assistant, and maintenance manager. The council proposes to maintain funding for our off-duty police coverage that was increased in FY24. This increased coverage allows for additional traffic control during rush hours and around schools within the town. Also, at our May 15th meeting, something that does not show up in this budget, or our proposed operating expenditures, the council will discuss a financial request from Wonders Early Learning Center, which is located in the Lawton Center. This nonprofit daycare is running a projected deficit for its current fiscal year, and the town's support would allow for needed capital improvements to its facility. Wonders has requested $10,000 in financial support from the town for 2025, FY25. The council approves this funding or a different funding level. A vote after public comments will be taken during the June meeting for a supplemental appropriation. Next slide. This is a chart that shows our projected major contractual costs for FY25. The combined contractual cost for all of our household and yard trash, recycling, and composting services is $676,000. Next slide. Our capital expenditures are budgeted at $987,500. These funds will be used to cover the cost for streets and sidewalk repairs, Zimmerman Park renovations, and stormwater infrastructure. The cost to redevelop Zimmerman Park was $450,000, is substantially offset by a state grant of $337,500, resulting in a net cost to the town of $115,000 for Zimmerman Park. In addition, the cost to install a new storm drain on Leland Street is offset by a county cost sharing agreement of $250,000, resulting in a net cost to the town of $205,000. So in summary, next slide. In FY25, we assume stable income tax revenue. As I said before, we don't control that anyhow, but we are projecting stable income tax revenue. The town's operating expenditures will increase by $452,000, and capital expenditures will increase by $597,000 in FY25 due to planned infrastructure improvements. We expect to realize a budget surplus of $1.02 million in FY25, due primarily to using the $730,000 $9,000 that I talked about as ARPA grants to cover the cost of certain government services. As a result, the town's reserve balance is expected to increase from $17.3 million on June 30th, 2024 to $18.3 million on June 30th, 2025. Offsetting this balance is the town's commitment to contribute $4.5 million to the Bethesda Market Park development project, resulting in a net fund balance of $13.8 million on June 2025. We are showing a range for the Bethesda Market Park Reserve because the council is considering a further contribution to the Bethesda Market Park, but only after we have more discussion with the town residents will this be considered. We want to be transparent in our deliberation on the Bethesda Market Park. Separately, the balance of restricted ARPA funds will decrease from $865,000, about $866,000 at the end of 24 to $127,000 at the end of FY 25. Next chart. This chart shows the town's historical reserves and highlights the portions of the reserves that are affected by dwindling ARPA funds and actual and potential contributions for the Bethesda Market Park. If all contributions, including ones in which we were in that range that you saw before, for the Bethesda Market Park are realized and our FY 25 operating and capital expenditures are as budgeted, our FY 26 reserve should be in the range of $10 million. With that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Rich.
Welcome.
We are on sound financial.
Yes,
footing.
we are. I did want us to bring, just to show us something. Todd, would you bring up the slide which shows the reserves, the historical reserves?
And it looks like Lou has his hand up also, Irene, for a question, I believe, but
All
let
right.
me share the
Put
screen.
that slide up first. Put
Sure.
that slide up first. Yeah. That's in each of those bars is in those fiscal years dollars. If you escalate the dollars up to FY 25 $24, essentially you almost add by a third onto each of those columns. And if you do that, there's pretty much a straight line in terms of the amount that we have in reserves in terms of in terms of the history of the town.
Just to make sure I understand, you're saying in real terms, if you adjust for inflation,
Yes,
the amount of dollars is effectively the same.
pretty close,
Pretty
not
close,
far.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, not far.
Oh,
Let's-
Terry, if you wouldn't mind just saying it.
I think Lou had his hand up.
Lou had it. Lou.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Mr. Evangelista, please go.
No, thank you very much. I wanted to ask, one of the slides which showed reimbursements, there was a category, I think state reimbursement streets, something, pretty big number, 125K. Way in the beginning, Rich.
Yeah. What's the question?
What is that? You didn't explain it. You explained the
Yes,
several other categories.
the town gets a reimbursement from our property tax. As we levy a property tax, we get a reimbursement from the state for how much we have, if we have a property tax. That's one thing we get from the state. We also get, and it goes essentially to reimburse us for costs that the county is not having to provide. So it doesn't do our streets, it doesn't do our snow removal, it doesn't do our trash. So they give us an amount, and that's why there's a difference, that's why there's such a small amount that we actually end up paying. Does that help?
Yeah, the category is highway user revenue.
Right. That's a formula that's every municipality has that. That is a state-derived formula.
That's different than what I was just talking about. That's actually just, yeah, it's a formula, essentially a formula grant to to each municipality.
Okay,
Right. Highway user revenue, Lou, is we get a disbursement from the state. It's based on town road mileage and the number of registered motor vehicles in the town. And those estimates that we get based on those numbers come from the State Highway Administration.
great. Yeah, very good. And what is the other revenue of 155,000? That's pretty significant. What does that involve?
I'm going to take that, Rich.
I'm trying to find, where are you?
It's a
where are you talking-
permit, things like permitting and
Oh, that's income that we get from our various permitting activities. We get it from, we own 4 meters on Willow, 4 parking meters on Willow. We get income from that. We get income when people apply for permits and stuff. So it's all that income.
State aid for police protection, parking fines and meters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miscellaneous
franchise
stuff.
fees, permit fees, variance fees. Yeah.
Okay, now, does it involve those revenues from utilities?
We do get, that's a line as well. That's a utility property tax. That's what we get from the tax that we levy. It's 60 cents. What is it? 60 cents per $100.
It's
Yeah,
it's 66 cents per $100 of assessed value, and we get about $33,000 a year.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Are there any other questions? Yes, Deborah, if you wouldn't mind just coming.
I have a question regarding the bar graph. Maybe the colors correspond, but I'm not sure. But with the bar graph, the bar graph that was shown at the end,
Okay.
with the projected something.
Operating and,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the reserves.
There were, for each bar, there were colors on top. I don't know if they corresponded or to the other graph, but if you could explain, like for,
Yeah.
well, the last
If
one
you
is
look
like
at the-
projected, what with the dark blue and then the green and then the yellow, and then on the previous years, there's also a kind of a light purple. I was just wondering what those were.
If you look at the bottom of the chart, it tells you what they are, but basically the light purple is the ARPA grant monies. The
Oh.
green is what the town has committed to for the farm women's market, which is the 4.5 million. And that yellow is that range that I spoke about, which is maybe additional contribution that we make to the farm women's market.
Oh, okay.
So Deborah, the anticipated reserve at the end of fiscal year 25 will be above 18 million. And what we were trying to graphically depict was even with an additional contribution towards the Bethesda Market Park, there's still substantial reserves for the town for other projects as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Oh, that was easy.
Might be emails coming in after.
Maybe emails.
Great. So we're going to open it up now for a public hearing related to the budget that was just presented by Treasurer Brancato, as well as the tax rate. So remember, we are using a constant yield tax rate of 0.84 per $100 assessed value, which equates to $84 for every $1 million assessed value. So anywhere from $84 to $168, depending on whatever the home is worth. And that is what we would like to hear from residents about, if they have any comments or additional questions. Yes, Deborah.
I do have a question. Maybe this is sort of elemental, but how is this tax this $84 per million, how is that collected? Does that come back to us from the state or the county, or is there some other way? Because we don't write out a check to the town of Chevy Chase for $84. So I'm just wondering how that happens. While I've got this, I'm also wondering if, and I haven't really thought this out, but I'm just wondering if there aren't some other services the town could be providing, and were they valuable services, I certainly would be willing to pay more taxes than $84.
Okay. Go ahead, Rich, if you. How is it collected? It's part of the.
The state collects it as part of the
Part of
income tax returns.
It's part of the bill. Yes, you don't need to make a separate check out. With respect to other services, we're certainly always open to suggestions by residents for other programs, other services that are offered. To be frank, I'm not sure what else. We do offer a high level of service and high quality at that, but there's always good ideas out there. So please, to everyone, if you do have other thoughts or suggestions, please let us know, and we'll certainly ventilate it amongst ourselves and make sure that other residents can have a chance to weigh in on that. Okay. Anything else? Okay, please. That's why we're here. No worries.
I remember when Naomi Kaminsky, who was one of the founders of Chevy Chase at Home, was still with us. She advocated some sort of a bus that would go around, some sort of local transportation. Some of us are no longer driving, and even people who are driving because of traffic issues and other things, may be cutting back on their willingness to drive as much. And I'm just wondering if that might be an area that the town council could explore. It'd be nice to be able to come to this center perhaps and catch a bus that would connect, or maybe connect with the circulator that's already going around, or in fact take people in different places in Bethesda. The Bethesda outdoor pool. I know. I'm trying to think how I'm going to get there when it gets warm and I want to go for a swim and it's too far to walk. Anyway, just some ideas.
Well, thank you, Deborah. That's, I think, a nice suggestion as well. I'd be interested to understand what Corso Chevy Chase might also be taking under consideration for that. Obviously, they're going to be having a lot of residents, and they might already be thinking about such a service for their residents, and why not our residents too. So thank you for that suggestion. I'll take a look at it. Any other comments? Okay, so the public hearing is over. I'd like to open it up for any discussion amongst ourselves here for the adoption or even hear a motion.
We've spent a lot of time reviewing the budget and feel comfortable, and Richard gave a good presentation.
Okay.
No further comments.
Okay. Would anyone like to introduce a motion?
Go for it, Joy.
All right, I'll move that we approve the FY25 budget
And the tax.
as well as the tax decrease.
Oh, decrease.
Yes.
I thought you said increase. for a
No,
second.
no. It's a decrease.
Yes, it is. It's a decrease.
However small, it's a decrease.
Every bit counts. Second.
I'll second that.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Wonderful. Thank you all. I think that it's been a great year. I thank you all for your camaraderie and wonderful ideas, and on to the next year, as we'll see what happens. Okay. Yeah, we'll see what happens next week. Okay, with that, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.